Hi everyone. So I'm Luiza and I am a recent graduate from a family medicine residency program and I've been working as an attending for a few months and I just wanted to talk about how to be good at your job. So during my residency program, I was one of the chief residents, and for those of you not from a medical background, that means that you're doing so good at your residency that they give you extra things that you can do on top of your own responsibilities. So more administrative stuff, more teaching stuff, coaching stuff. So I guess I was good at my job as a resident. So, I just want to give some tips and tricks on how I did well during residency, and then hopefully that these things can also be applied to other aspects or other jobs. Um, so, the first thing that was very important was presentation. So, presenting to work with a good attitude and looking presentable. So I think that it's very important to be presentable, be on time, and be also present while being presentable because I think that's so important and it changes the human interactions and the dynamics. Like even your patients look at you differently when you show up, showing like you've put an effort into the way you came to work. And I know residency is tough, and I'm sure other fields are tough too, where you work like crazy hours or you're tired, you have kids, family responsibilities. But I think finding ways where you can minimize the effort you put into being presentable every day and going to work, then that can really just make your life so much easier, and the way you are treated by your superiors, like your supervisors, can also be very different when you look like you've put an effort in and you actually come to work prepared and with a good attitude. I've seen how people can be treated differently just based on that, like someone who comes in unprepared or comes in late or like didn't put an effort into the way they've presented themselves, and then the other person, then there's like a difference on how the patients treat them, on how the peers treat them, how the nursing staff or the support staff or your supervisors treat you. So it does make a difference, and I think at the end of the day it does go a long way. So I think that small thing can make such a huge difference, that you can like really get results with a small change. So why not do that? So even I think some people might think that's not fair, that based on how you look or like based on the way you dress, things like that can become a factor in how you're treated. But it's just, like manners and social context that you have to present a certain way sometimes. Um, so I think that's something worth investing in. So it is raining really hard today, so but let's move on to the next thing that I think will make you a good employee and a good resident is always presenting a plan. So even if you don't know the solution to a problem, whenever you are presenting a problem, whenever you're presenting a patient, always have a solution, even if it's not the right solution. For example, you can say, I don't know if this is the right thing, but I was thinking we can do X, Y, and Z. But if you have any suggestions, please let me know. Please educate me. So I think this is like the case in all fields as well. Leaders like thinkers. So if you want to be liked and promoted, it's something to always have a plan. So in residency, we present patients where we go see the patient and then come back to our attendings and present the patient. So it's always a good idea to have a plan, because if you are coming to me and telling me the problem or why they presented and you're not giving me the the solution or what your plan is, then I'm gonna think that you didn't put in the effort, you didn't read up on it. Because you can read up and come up with a plan, even if it's not the right plan, or you can ask questions about the plan, of course, but not having a plan is not a good look. So always have a plan. And again, this goes on to all other fields. If you are presenting a problem to your employee, your supervisors, always having some type of plan is a good idea. It's always good to like use teamwork to come up with a plan, but it's always good to bring something to the team's table. And that helps us go into the next point, which is point number 3, and that is about being a good team player. So, being a team player is very important because you do work with other people, and sometimes if you have extra time, helping a co-worker, a peer, another resident with their workload, if just getting an extra note, doing like a discharge summary or something like that, can really make someone's day. That means instead of going home at like 9 p.m., they can go home at 8 p.m., which can make a big difference. So if I think it's so important to do that, because then you're gonna need their help at some point. So um, being a good team player is very important in this field, especially in residency. Um, Again, I think this can apply to all the fields, but in residency, I've seen it when people take the individualistic approach and don't want to be a team player, and that backfires at the end, because when you are drowning and you need help, there isn't anyone to help you, because when you were there when you had the opportunity, you didn't help. And people do notice that, when some people leave like early and the other person has to stay late, that people notice that. So if you want the team dynamic to also support you, you should also put in, your work. You should help the team. You should help the village, and then the village will take care of you. So I think that's big, a big point in being a good resident, a good employee. And I think the people who pick up extra work and help you out are, without even being asked, are invaluable people in a team setting, in a work environment, and they brighten your day. Even as humans, they are invaluable. So that's also something to consider. So the next point is staying eager to learn. Um, in residency, it can get very frustrating, and we do have this shift of our mentality, perspective of, like you work so many hours, it's hard to remember why we're in residency and why are we even doing this to ourselves. So I think it's important to have this like checkpoints, even maybe before you start your program, to say, in 3 months, I'm going to check in and make sure that I am remembering why I'm in residency. And to tell yourself, to be curious about things. You're here to learn, and this is the best time to learn. So if you are getting an extra case or an extra admission, not thinking about it as like extra work or extra load, but as more of a, okay, this is a case that I might learn something new from, or this is gonna let me grow. So every time you learn something new or you push yourself in that way, you will learn something new and grow. So that's how, at the end of your residency, you become competent. And it's so much harder when you are on your own and you are still learning, because medicine is a field of always learning and evolving. So you're learning and you're seeing cases you've never seen in residency, but it's so much nicer when you have that support of the attending or the team, and you actually get the chance to talk about the case and get some feedback about the case, as opposed to just being on your own. So just keep that in mind that once you're done, you're gonna be on your own. And so right now, just use your resources and use your attendings and, learn. So I think that curiosity mindset, just changing from like, oh, extra work to like, oh, so interesting, can help. I've done that mindset shift many times during residency. Like whenever I would get burnt out or felt frustrated, I'd be like, okay, like let's sit back and think. We are here because we want to learn. We are here because we want to be better providers for our patients. So stop with this complaining mentality. So that has helped me. Hopefully that mindset shift can help you. And again, this can pretty much apply to all other fields where you have like an extra thing to do, but you feel like that they're overworking you, like, or a new skill you learn in tech, or a customer that's frustrated you have to deal with, or yeah. So the next point, I think we're at point 5, is being consistent. So consistency can build trust within your team, within your supervisors, your attendings, and then that can again make life easier. So usually it's not the resident who is the smartest that does the best, it's the resident that is most consistent that does the best. So the one that consistently gets their notes done in time, that consistently puts in all the refills and checks on their patients in the morning when on inpatient, for example, at a certain time, always looks at these labs, always looks at that. So being consistent is what makes you a good resident, I think. Not really like, you can be the smartest person or know the most medical knowledge, but if you're not consistent with your care, with your notes, with the work you get done, then there's no value to the knowledge you have. So again, consistency is really a big deal. And I think the consistency can also be with anything. Like if you are a creator, then if you're not consistent with your creative projects, then you're not going to get a good feedback. You're not going to get any progress. So consistency is really what builds it day by day, shift by shift, and makes you a good worker. So the last point is remembering why you started the job you're in, how you ended up in the job you're in, and caring for the people you're serving, in medicine, the patients you're helping. So caring for them actually. Um, for example, I always think of the people I'm helping as like my family members. Like I think of them like, oh, what if this was my mom in a clinic being seen? What if this is my dad in a hospital being seen? Like what would I want them to have, or what type of treatment? How would I want the doctor to speak to them, or the nurse to speak to them? So I always carry that with me when I'm at work, and that has made my energy of caring contagious, because people see that I care, and then they start respecting that I care, and that can again make you a good employee, and in whatever field you are, being a good human, a kind human, and a caring human. So I think that's all we can do as we are living and going through life, trying to be the best human we can be and caring for each other. All right. So I think that's it. And I think, again, the difference is, if you follow these steps, it's like the difference between just doing a job or making an impact. So um, I think picking what you want to do in life, being passionate about it, trying to do it the best you can, showing up, being consistent, being present, learning, caring, and in any field you will succeed if you show up with that attitude. And I don't know if that resonates with you, but that has helped me become successful in my field in whatever I try to do. So those are my wisdom points for this time. Anyways, thank you for hanging out with me. If you have any pointers, anything else that has made you successful, please drop it in comments. And I hope you guys subscribe and like the video.